I got infinity money.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Beyond the Backboard Podcast, episode 44. My name is Omar. Next to me is Max. Next to me is Earl. Below me is Max. And today, we are going to be talking about a few interesting topics that we have in mind. I don't know if you guys have it in mind, but maybe I have it in mind. I'm just going to kind of scroll through Twitter and figure it out.
Wordplay is crazy.
But how's your week, guys? How's your weekend going, guys?
Oh, it's going good, man. I mean, I can't complain. Just always excited to come on here and talk basketball with the boys. I know it's summertime, but there are a lot of fun stuff to talk about. I mean, we got Team USA. We got Summer League starting up for California Classic. A lot of teams. You got to go look at some rookies. And regular Summer League is coming up this week. So everybody's going to pretty much be able to see their rookies play. So it's a fun week of basketball and excited to be here with the boys as always.
Yeah, it's nice to be on here. We can talk about how bad the Lakers rookies are. We can talk about other teams making good free agency signings. You know, it's a good time. Like you said, we got Team USA coming up. Kind of free agency seems to be dying down, but there's a few interesting pieces still on there that we're going to talk about. So things are starting to take shape for the upcoming season, which is nice. We know where a lot of the key players are. We can probably tell some of the key teams that are going to be going for the title, which is good. We're kind of out of that stage now.
Yeah, sure. I agree. Let's start with Team USA. Let's start with some breaking news that came out just a few hours ago with Kawhi Leonard subsequently withdrawing himself from Team USA. And my oh my, did Stephen A hit it on the hammer? Like, goddamn.
Not the phrase, but okay.
No, like, it was so funny because Stephen A was saying that the Lakers organization should be doing everything in their powers. I'm sorry?
The Clippers?
Yeah, the Clippers, I said, no?
You said the Lakers.
But it's all
my fault.
Why the Lakers?
We can't
Listen. They said the Clippers would do anything in their power to not have Kawhi play. And he was like, they're like, he could come back injured. Like, we don't want to risk that. And like, a fair point, right? But listen. I personally think Kawhi just went because he wanted to take his pictures, show off his little hairstyle that he's got going on.
Little hairstyle is crazy.
New little smile that he got on too. Like, I don't know what that's about, but he's been more happy recently.
You can't smile, Omar?
I'm just saying, like,
oh my goodness.
It's just been more than typically. That's not what I'm saying.
That's a crazy bar. Hey, smile around Omar and you're feeling happy.
Listen. That's not what I'm saying, and you know that's not what I'm saying. It's just been more than usual. You saw the couple of pictures that came out about him. I mean, the couple of pictures that came out, and I was so confused because I've never seen Kawhi Leonard take any photos of himself and post that on the internet. But I mean, that's just me.
We still haven't, because technically Kawhi didn't take those photos. But all right,
okay, on his phone.
True. I'll say this about the Kawhi thing. I think obviously this season he wasn't the most healthy. A lot of people had concerns with him potentially playing for Team USA. My only problem is, like, I don't think the problems that he had were just going to magically go away. So I felt like going into the camp, maybe his team could have made that decision ahead of time. Only reason I say that is because we missed another person. We robbed another person of opportunity to kind of be around those camps and, you know, grow with those guys. Like, everybody talks about Team USA camps. It's about, like, the mentors, like the older leaders of the NBA, the vets, kind of shaping the new generation. And, like, potentially, I know it's Derek White now who's the replacement, which we'll talk about, I'm sure. But I mean, Derek White kind of got robbed of a chance to kind of be around camp, like be around the guys for a week, you know, learn from them. So I think that part of it sucks a little bit. I don't really have a problem with Kawhi not playing. I mean, health over everything, obviously, but I feel like these decisions are kind of something that should be thought about before the time.
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's tough to tell because they were not very clear in this press release whose idea this was, whether this was Kawhi saying he's not ready to go, whether this was Kawhi's team saying he's not ready to go, or whether this is a Clippers decision saying we don't want him to play. Ultimately, I stand on the side of the fence of if Kawhi Leonard is injured and he's still dealing with an injury, he should not be playing. And they should have made that clear ahead of time.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe they thought it would have healed by now and they figured they'd give it a go. And if he's injured, I understand.
You know the quote I seen?
What?
It said, hold on, I'll read it. It said there was concerns about 2024 Olympics due to game speed concerns. So that tells me like
that's where I'm
maybe
going.
He didn't think the intensity was as much as it was going to be. Maybe he thought it was kind of like I don't want to use the word chill process, but like kind of a slower pace. But like all the stuff we heard about camp and stuff like that, like the pace was crazy. Like we talk about Ant-Man, LeBron, all these guys. They said every drill was intense, everything like that. So maybe you're right. Maybe he kind of wanted to get a feel for it. He got out there. He realized, okay, if this is just practice, all right, when we get into the game, maybe my body can't handle that. And I agree, man. That's a good point.
Well, but the thing with that is if he's not injured and they're just holding him out because he can't handle it, I think that's nonsense. Respectfully, I think if he's not injured, he should be playing.
Yeah.
You can't keep him out preemptively expecting an injury. That's not the point.
True.
What are we doing here? Like, if he's hurt, fine. But if he's cleared to play medically and he wants to play, he should be playing. I don't get what the big deal of this is. Like, I understand the Clippers, it's their prop, when you think about it, it's like their property, their player that they're, putting on the line. But like, the Lakers are okay with Braun playing, the Warriors are okay with Curry playing, the Suns are okay with Durant playing, and like
they arguably don't have the history that
2017 Paul George himself just take himself out, then he's gonna be fine. So
but they don't have the history of injury that Kawhi has.
I mean, history of injury. I mean, we talk about history of injury. Anthony Davis has been injury prone the last couple of seasons. He had his best season, and he's playing Olympics with no doubt in his mind that he's going to perform. Like I think he's just finally
100% off of that injury that he had.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
But what I'm saying is like he was never like 100% while everybody was acting like AD was 100%. Now that I could, 100%, and I'll take. Like, that's the thing, though. When I'm wrong, like,
I like telling you about that situation.
Yeah, but, like, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I'll be the first one to tell you AD probably proved to me that he's 100% off of that injury. And that's probably what just ended up happening. And he's shown that he should have been the defensive player of the year, or at least close to it, more close than a lot of people think. Rudy. Yeah, it was really between Rudy and Wendy, but I mean, AD should have been more up there. I feel like I think it was like
why is not hurt and why is he not playing? That's my point.
I agree.
Like,
I think it's communication, Max.
Keep him out because he might get injured. He might get injured walking down his stairs. Like, come on, guys.
I think it's communication because I can't tell from these quotes. I can't tell if it's just 100% on the team, his team, or is it Kawhi Leonard saying like, "Hey, I can't keep up."
Yeah,
like, I think that's the biggest mix-up in the media.
But they're going to do what Kawhi Leonard wants to do.
That's not true, though. Think about the Harrison Barnes. Think about the Andrew Wiggins thing. They deny him playing for Canada because they wanted to use him as a trade piece. So they felt like if they let him play, if he got injured, something like that, it will tank his value.
I hate that.
I think that's a big thing too, like organization / team being like, okay, maybe we should kind of calm this down. Like, think about it now. There's no Paul George. There's no Paul George now. Kawhi is your team. So I could see the Clippers very much saying, I don't think it's right. Being like, hey, you're our star player. We really don't think you should risk this. What we got going on, which sucks.
And so that Kawhi should say, thank you for your input. I'll see you in 2 months.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. If he really wanted to, he probably just, look.
It's levels to this, bro. You think someone gonna tell Bron he's not playing? If Bron wants to play, he's going to play. If AD wants to play, he's going to play. If Kevin Durant wants to play. KD has injury history.
Bron has shown one thing in his life. And that one thing in his life is that's probably the most.
All right, then let's switch to Kevin Durant. Let's switch to Kevin Durant then. In the recent years,
durable.
Okay, look, then we'll switch it to KD. The recent years, Kevin Durant has been a very injured player, but he's at Olympics. He's hooping because he loves basketball. Kevin Durant is a true hooper. He will take a basketball anywhere in the world and go play. Doesn't matter where. And I feel like maybe it's just not the same for Kawhi. Maybe it's more like I don't know, man. I agree with Max. Like, if you're healthy, man, this is a historic chance. Like, we talk about Team USA, Dream Team, Redeem Team. This team will be one of those type of teams. Like, as we see them play, this is one of the best constructed teams we've ever seen. Like, the star power on this team / elevated role players. Because I don't even want to call Derek White a role player. I mean, he just plays on the Celtics, but he's a great defender. He's a great piece. So, like, Drew Holiday as well. He's a 2-time champion. All-time defender. Like, we got these type of people on the roster, and I think it's gonna be a special team. So the fact Kawhi is missing out on this, man, I don't know. It sucks.
It's more about Derek White in that situation.
It was confirmed Derek White.
They were talking about Derek White previously joining prior to people even accepting.
And I think it's one of those things where it's like, hey, do we try to get another player to dive into the system, like another star, or do we go get Derek White, who can fit in any system and you just plug and play him? I think.
How about someone who's already been on a Team USA team and has won a gold medal and plays the same position and is already good friends with multiple people on this team and is respectfully better than Derek White and actually just played against him in the finals and probably will not get another shot at Team USA in the future?
Kyrie?
Listen, I hate to agree with
Hey, I said that before too, Kyrie.
I mean, I don't think Tyrese should be on this team personally. I think anybody could replace Tyrese in this situation, especially because Tyrese is still kind of sort of injured. I'm not sure where he is in terms of injury status. I'm not sure where he stands in terms of injury status, but
0% injury.
I don't know.
He's not injured.
All right.
I don't know. But he might still be dealing with that hamstring. He didn't look himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, as far as reported, I mean, if that's the case, then Kawhi stop. No, I'm just playing. Let me not say that. But I agree. Kyrie Irving, we talked about this before. We had a whole argument. Well, I won't say argument. We just had a basketball conversation about Kyrie Irving and his skill set. And there is no reason in the world why Kyrie Irving shouldn't get the chance to be on this team.
No reason at all.
0%. Just like he was left out. Wait. No. I think no. Never mind. Different conversation.
Yeah. And then it's like, you know, they have a perfect opportunity now with Kawhi backing out to right this wrong with Kyrie on there. Like, this is a team of veterans. Typically, Team USA.
Yep.
Sometimes they go young, sometimes they go old, but this year they went very old on purpose. And Kyrie is someone who gets along. Well, presumably, maybe he doesn't get along with Durant anymore, but like presumably he gets along with Braun fine. Probably still gets along with Durant and Davis. So, like, put Kyrie on the team.
I think him and Durant have to be fine. I kind of look at it from a human's perspective because Kyrie did the exact same thing that KD did to Russell Westbrook. Is there a real difference in what?
Kyrie got traded, KD left.
Kyrie arguably wanted to be traded.
He probably wanted out.
He wanted out.
I don't know. But if that's the reason why Kyrie's not on this team, if it's like the Isaiah Thomas thing where it's like he got left off because Jordan said, I don't want to play with it. If that's the reason Kyrie's not there, that's just silly.
I don't think, but I agree. I don't think that's the case at all.
I hope it's not.
At the end of the day, I don't get that vibe from none of these guys. Like, pretty much everybody in this kind of class, like you said, of veteran type players, they all mess with each other. Like, they're all cool.
Yeah.
Regardless of trades and I don't want to play here, you don't want to play there. I mean, these guys have had moments together, off court, on court, like situations past the Brooklyn Net days. Like, at this point, I mean, that time is kind of history now. Well, we're like two seasons in from that. After, so I think it's just, I don't know what it is, but yeah, Derek White was an interesting
pick, right?
Yeah, why is Paul George not on this team either? That's not why is PG up there? PG could 100% play on this team.
Honestly, he could easily replace Kawhi.
Some people deny it because some people want to just relax in the summer.
No, but he wasn't offered.
Maybe he was.
How do you know?
Just do. Like, they bro, when you get on that list, they say people decline and they say, hey, they turned down this or whatever. Like, that type of stuff gets announced.
I'm gonna look this up. Whether he, maybe he just made it clear that like I don't want to be put on the list. I'm not playing Olympics. Like, don't even call me.
Yeah, like there's a list like that for sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna switch it to somebody who apparently and allegedly requested a trade. Mikal Bridges.
How do we get to this?
I'm just saying he's
not even on the USA roster.
I know, but he apparently requested a trade.
We didn't
But he
even get to
didn't.
talk
He didn't.
about what's it called tonight? You guys excited for tonight?
Yeah,
The
I mean,
first
it's
scrimmage?
USA Canada at like
Oh, yeah.
10:30 for no good reason.
When I seen it, I was like, oh, 10:30 a.m.
Dude,
Nice
it's in
early game.
Paris.
And then I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, 10:30 at night?
Have people
Like,
ever heard
bro.
of 2 p.m. starts?
I
You
don't
guys,
know,
it's
man.
in another country.
It's in Canada.
Yeah.
They're in the same time slot as us.
Yeah, is it
I
not?
think it's slightly different. If I'm
I mean, not
mistaken.
that different though, right?
A few hours.
Or maybe
I
I'm
think.
tripping. I'm
well,
sorry.
You gotta think about it like this: from the East Coast to California, it's about like a 5 to 8 hour difference.
That's just a lie. It's a 3 hour.
3.
difference.
It's 3, Omar.
What? It's 3? Am I
Yeah.
fucking?
Yes, it's
It's
8
3, buddy.
8:30 EST, 5:30 California time. I don't know where you got that number, but okay.
I'm so stupid.
And think
What am
about
I
it, Omar.
thinking 8 to 5 hours.
Well, maybe. Okay, is this game in what is it? Paris? Is this game being played? Because if so, then
No, I don't think it's in Paris yet. This is just
straight up USA versus Canada because they're close and they're playing either in Canada or the US.
I think these are the list of what expedition games they call it, if I'm not mistaken.
You mean
There's no-
expedition?
Yeah, that's what I said. Expedition.
Okay, it is the
I thought
same
you said
time
expedition, like Lewis and
zone.
Clark.
Okay, it
type
is the same
expedition.
time zone. So then why is it? It's the same. There's no time difference between Washington and Ottawa, Canada, where
That's
the
what
game
I'm
is being
saying.
held.
That's
So
why we're
is
like,
it
why
being-
is it a 10:30 game?
Okay, then I have a question because I thought it was in Paris. That's why I said it was
Yeah.
10:30. Because
Yeah.
that
Wait a minute.
That
Wait,
would make
guys. Oh my
that
god.
makes sense.
I just thought about something that is way worse than this Derek White thing. If you chose Derek White, why didn't you choose Jaylen Brown?
Ooh.
Because Derek White's a fit player, and he's
No, yeah, whoa,
player.
that's crazy.
Single-handedly killed the Derek White narrative.
Actually,
That's
Actually,
crazy.
I might have an answer for that one.
Don't
Also,
say
just
nothing
before
like
we move off
no
this, I
left.
would just like to say, CBS Sports reported on April 17th this year that Paul George was, quote, among those players who suggested they would play on Team USA if given an opportunity, but
Yep.
is not listed on their initial roster.
Yep, so he wasn't chosen.
So he said he would play, and they said, nah, we good. I think Paul George should be out there 100%.
That was an easy one for one replacement. Kawhi for PG. Why not?
Or for forward. I
Yeah.
mean, Derek White's a forward. People, I
Nah.
love Derek White.
Is he- are they saying he's a forward
Stop
now?
juicing Derek White to heck. People juice Derek White so hard right now.
But it makes it worse of the fact that finals MVP can't get you onto the Olympic team as a replacement.
That? You're saying that was recent. It's not recent at all.
But if we're talking about defense, right?
Whoa,
Good defender,
what is my feed?
Athletic, he can shoot the ball. How does Jaylen Brown not get the replacement? Finals MVP Jaylen Brown can't be a replacement, bro. And I'm not even a Celtics fan. I'm just saying it.
I don't think he should be on there, but I think he should be on there over Derek White.
That's what I'm saying. Like one for one. Yeah. If I'm choosing Derek White or Jaylen Brown, I'm taking Jaylen Brown easily. Like, there's no question about it.
Should come
What
out
about
of
Dame?
retirement.
Why is Dame not on this team?
That's a good question too. I guess.
Okay. Dame wasn't that good this year. I don't think Dame.
He's historically been great though. He's earned this opportunity.
How's he not
More so
good
than
this
Halliburton.
year?
More
He
so
wasn't.
than
He wasn't
Holiday.
very good this year. He didn't. I don't know.
How is he not
I
good?
think there's a lot of better point guards in the East than Dame Lillard. I think there's a lot of better point guards
He
than
put up
Tyrese
24,
Halliburton,
4, and
frankly.
7. That's not bad.
That's not bad at all, but he didn't do better than Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, and Tyrese Halliburton isn't even the best point guard in the Eastern Conference.
I think what the team should have done this year was really leaned on the veterans and leaned on the opportunity of players who have earned this opportunity, who have played on Team USA before, who are used to international basketball. And Dame has done that. He's been through the ringer. I think he's won a gold. But
Sure, no, I'm not saying
that's earned him that opportunity. He's still clearly maybe not at the peak of his game. Maybe he's not peak like 2019.
When I say this, I'm not trying to take a shot at their overall gameplay. Obviously, I'm not trying to do that. But what I'm trying to say is that
If I'm being honest, though,
there's a lot of better players in the NBA than Damian Lillard.
I'll say this.
And the reason why I disagree with you is I think it was really smart to apparently, allegedly, incorporate the system where you're kind of building around Anthony Edwards and like building it around Anthony Edwards or something. Maybe that was a joke from him or something.
That was a joke. Or
that
was him being It wasn't a joke. It was
he is the number one option. He's the number one option. Number one.
Anthony Edwards
no,
that's the 12th option on this.
That's him saying that. Like that's just I can't fault him for his confidence level, whatever. But that's not like hey, we built this team around Anthony Edwards. That was just him being confident in his game. That wasn't like affiliated with Team USA roster.
I do think he'll be the number one option in this team, though.
Yeah, this I agree. This team was built around. Yeah, I believe Bron, KD, and Steph.
The old head, it's fine. Yeah,
that like I don't know if y'all seen the reports. Not trying to gas or glaze the Lakers. But okay. LeBron was reported to be playing the hardest throughout the whole camp, voted by the whole
breaking
team.
Breaking news, the Dunk Central. I'm sorry to cut you off. Breaking news about Kawhi Leonard. Team USA had concerns about Kawhi Leonard's knee. People are not authorized to speak publicly on the matter. Told the Times last week that the concerns about Kawhi Leonard's knee after Grant Hill, the managing director of Team USA, Steve Kerr, and Team USA in general, they're basically really, really concerned, saying Lawrence Frank, the Clippers of the president basketball operation, watched him work out in the Clippers facility last week and determined that they were really nervous about his knee. Like,
so there is an actual injury there.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's just a lot of concerns about his knee. But I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
But breaking news, literally 2 minutes ago. That's why
I'm good. I was just saying, like, you can kind of tell who the guys are at this camp, and like the names that come to mind for me so far out of what I've been saying is obviously Bron, obviously Steph, KD. He's been a little bit quiet, but I heard that he was kind of like easing into it. Not saying he had an injury, but like he was kind of like not on the Kawhi track, but he was kind of getting into like rhythm and stuff like that, which is cool.
Ramping up.
Yeah, he's ramping up. And low key, I would say Edwards is up there too. Like I've seen him play. I've seen him on those Curry, Bron, and Curry, Bron, and AD. I mean, why I'm saying AD, Anthony Edwards lineups, and they look good. So I think looking into like Team USA, those are kind of the names I'm looking for. And I will say thank you so much that we actually got bigs. Watching the whatever it was the year before or last season,
2020.
No, not 2020 though. The ones we just did last summer.
Oh yeah, you're right. Where we had Walker Kessler.
Walker Kessler out there. We had Jaren Jackson who can't rebound the back. I'm sorry, no offense, Jaren. He's not an elite rebounder, I'll say. And it was just hard to watch. We suffered heavily because of that. Now we have Joel Embiid, we have Bam, we have Anthony Davis. So I'm completely happy with that. I think we did good with the bigs.
Okay,
yeah, I don't really know what other bigs. I don't love Bam being on the. I don't know who else you can replace him with.
I don't think you can. Like his versatility too on defense.
I'm not sure if this was a joke, but a lot of international teams are actually wanting Team USA to pull out because most of their players are international players that were just like, oh, let me get American citizenship so I can play for Team USA.
I know Joel.
I know that was just Joel, but who else?
Wait, that's right. Why do people want that to happen? That's not many people.
Because you read a joke tweet on NBA.
No, somebody said it. There is
think
a
about
report
these
somewhere.
things before you say them out loud. Is there like a thought process, or is it just like, I see something, I read it out loud?
Yes, there is. I saw this not too long ago, but there was like a day or two ago. But I lost it.
Okay, no more Twitter for you.
Omar's train of thought is just the Twitter Express. It's just,
hey man, I'm here for the clips. I'm here for the clips.
Omar is the perfect Twitter viewer. Like for these body counts, he'll take it and spread it. Yeah, bro, you see all these foreign guys on the U.S. team, bro. This is not even USA anymore. I'm like, bro, what?
Oh, man. Yeah, Kristaps Porzingis got USA citizenship to play for Team USA.
Yes, precisely.
Breaking news from NBA Centel.
Precisely.
Anyways, final thoughts on Team USA playing Canada tonight. Are y'all worried at all? I'm not.
I think we should.
No.
I think we should lose. It will look better in the documentary. Like if we lose now and then, oh my gosh, we have something to work for. You know what I mean? And then we beat them, and then I think a loss tonight will really spark up media. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I don't think they need it. As long as Canada has RJ Barrett, I don't think they have a chance.
That's crazy.
So, RJ, if Canada's close, RJ will shoot them out of the game. He'll put up one of his 2 for 11 classics, and I think USA will be fine. But they'll probably be up by hella anyways. I do want to say shout out to Braun because none of this would be happening without Braun. He literally the reason that Curry and Durant and a lot of these guys are there is because Braun stepped up and said, "Hey," because Braun hasn't played in the last 2 Olympics, but he stepped up and said, "Hey, I'm going to come back. I need y'all. We should all come play. We've got to represent. This is the last chance to play together." Braun made the calls. He got the connections. He got these guys out there. He got this team assembled, or else we probably would be dealing with like Walker Kessler and Josh Hart again. So shout out to Braun for putting this squad together. Hopefully they're going to do great. I fully believe in them. I think they're going to run through the competition, but you never know. We saw last year that, Team USA is not unbeatable, but we're bringing the teams this year. So if we lose, we have no excuses anymore. We brought the best we can bring.
There's no way we can lose with Joel down there, bro, and Bron and Kurt. Like in my head, I just can't envision it. That's what I'm saying.
Holiday, like it's gonna be hard to lose. But like,
in a world where you can potentially have, Anthony Davis off the bench, there's no way this team can lose, bro. I don't know what the lines are gonna be. Obviously, I'm just talking, but
I think AD might move to power forward.
Like, come on.
It might play the center. That might be a good idea, and that's probably what they had in mind.
But I feel like AD, you probably want him as the backup center just in case. Because then if you're starting AD and Joel, then you only have Bam as your backup center. Bam's not really that tall.
Yeah, you only have Bam. Yeah.
So
Bam
projected. Okay. So the projected starting center is Holiday, Curry, James, Davis, and Embiid. And then it's going to be...
What? Oh, starting lineup. You said starting center. You confused me for a second.
Oh, no.
I'm confused that Holiday's in that lineup. Why is Holiday in there?
Yeah, they're...
Wait, who's this from, though?
Jimmy Butler there? He's not there, is he?
No, he's not on this team, no.
He should be there, bro. Jimmy Butler should be playing.
Jimmy
is still him. What happened here? You put Drew Holiday over Jimmy? He's saying Drew Holiday over me? Tyrese Halliburton over me? Come on now.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna look up the starters.
Well, I don't think Jimmy's ever played Team USA.
Maybe there's no starters yet, though. That's the thing. I promise y'all, we're not gonna see starters till like 9 p.m. Like this is what they do. You're not.
I mean, Curry, Braun, Durant, and Embiid, right? Surely.
Yeah.
Those 4 are pretty, and probably Tatum. They'll probably just put.
Maybe they put Curry at the 1, Anthony Edwards at the 2. And then
I don't see Curry playing anything but the 1, so yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then it would make more sense to bring Adebayo, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Tyrese Halliburton, and Drew Holiday.
I forgot Devin Booker was on this.
And Derek White, bro.
So Derek White's gonna pull up tonight, like straight up, just get his jersey.
He has to get acclimated to the team, bro. He can't play the game first game. Yeah.
Well, is he gonna be there?
We'll give him the
Is he gonna be there in street clothes?
He's gonna pull a. He's gonna.
They should have just let Cooper Flag take the spot at that point.
Honestly, bro, I was gonna say he's balling, so he might.
He'll be on the next 5 Olympic teams. He'll have his chance. I want to see it.
Yeah.
I do want to bring it back to the NBA. I want to ask you guys a small little question about a small market team called Detroit. I'm gonna read off the current roster, and I want you guys to guess what place they finish in.
Okay.
What place they finish in as far as what?
The East.
Just in the East.
Okay.
Cade Cunningham, Tim Hardaway Jr., Malik Beasley, Tobias Harris, Jalen Duren, Jaden Ivey, Marcus Sasser, Oshaar Thompson, Simone Fontecchio, Paul Reed, Ron Holland, Wendell Moore Jr., Bobby Clintman, and Isaiah Stewart.
Top 5.
How did Isaiah Stewart get buried that far down the list? How's he behind Bobby Clintman?
I say they will be a play-in team and they will advance to the first round. Hot take of the year.
Stop.
Yep.
No, I think so. I agree to that.
Ron Holland will change the organization and take them to victory. He will be a top 5 small forward all time. No, I'm just talking about
drafts Ron Holland and becomes a stand. You've watched 5 minutes of Ron Holland basketball.
Ron Holland's nice.
Zach Edey to go.
My only problem is with Ron Holland is not problem, but I'd like him to become a more consistent shooter on a Pistons team that already has spacing problems. That was my one concern with them taking him 5, is that historically he's not the best shooter, but obviously that's something that can be worked on. I mean,
I think they hired
Jason
the
Kidd
best,
was a horrible shooter coming into the league. And then he kind of adjusts his game to be able to at least
Now we're
hit
comparing Ron
consistently.
Holland to Jason Kidd.
No, I'm talking about as far as like shooting growth of like just not being a great shooter to becoming a good shooter. Like it's possible.
How often do you hear guys drafted and then they're not a great shooter, but they'll work on it and then they never work on it?
Bro, I can't speak for who, what, when, where, why, how. All I can say is it's possible because we've seen it at least
possible,
once.
But I feel like the majority of the time when a guy comes into the draft, quote, not being able to shoot, it never happens. It's like, oh, Ben Simmons, he can work on his shot. Markelle Fultz, he can work on his shot, you know?
I won't say it's never, but the thing about it is, guys you're listening is, before they got to the NBA, they had jump shots, but when they got to the NBA, they lost their shots.
Well, because they're playing against probably shorter, less athletic, poorer defenders. You get to the NBA, and the defense is way
That's
higher.
not necessarily true. And looking at that 76ers team, it was a lot of stuff going on with their training staff, too, because they fired a lot of those guys. Like, having two guys who could actually shoot completely, like, decent, and then going to that team and just completely losing the ability to shoot. Now, Markelle Fultz was a different situation, obviously, because he got into that motorcycle accident, and I'm pretty sure it was like some type of nerve damage or something like that was kind of affecting it. As you can see a huge change in the hit.
DeAndre Ayton, wasn't he supposed to work on his jump shot? Wasn't Marvin Bagley supposed to work on his jump shot?
Well, actually, the Ayton thing, I'm pretty sure they told him not to shoot. They wanted him to dominate in the paint.
I just feel like a lot of times you hear guys coming into the draft and it's like, oh, they'll work on their jump shots, like they'll improve, and then you get 3 years in and they still don't have a jump shot.
I mean, I'll use Austin Reeves as an example. Like he wasn't a good shooter at all. He became a plus average shooter.
Really? I feel like Austin Reeves, the only thing he was known for was his
high.
When was Austin Reeves ever a bad shooter?
His rookie year.
Was that just because he shot a low percentage, or was that on his scouting report coming out of college and not a three-point shooter?
No, he just wasn't a great three-point shooter. I'm telling you, like some guys,
the Pistons recently hired this coach, and I'm really trying to find his name here. That was supposed to really bolster. No, a shooting coach in particular that was supposed to really bolster. Really bolster their 3-point percentage. It was a really well-known coach. But for some reason, I can't find his name anywhere.
Who?
I don't know. It was Pistons shooting coach.
I don't know, but all I'm saying, I'm not saying like, yeah, he's magically going to get a better shot, but I'm saying that's just something he has to work on. And I think that's fair to say. Like everybody has a part of their game that if they work on, can make them a better player. So for me, I feel like Ron Holland, he's a great defender, really great athlete. And I think if he works on that shot, not saying it's even horrible, I don't know what his percentage is, but if he works on improving that, just being a good catch and shoot shooter, especially playing with Cade, then he can be an even better player for that Pistons team.
Okay, so all I'm saying here is I'm looking at Austin Reeves' scouting report coming out of college, and it literally says shooting the three at a high level and a minor role as an underclassman. His aggressiveness took a toll, but he rebounded to average 0.92 points per jump shot as a senior. So he was a solid, maybe not a great jump shooter, but he was a solid.
Yeah, that's what I said, like solid. Like
that's not Ron Holland. Can Ron Holland, like, does he take threes straight up?
Yeah.
I feel like he's like, there's levels to this. And maybe he will. Maybe he'll come in and hoop, but like, you know, are the Thompson twins, people expecting them to make jump shots anytime soon?
All right. Apparently, his name was Fred Vinson. He coached in New Orleans for 14 years and is credited for being a huge influence on Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, and others.
Well, that's positive because Lonzo Ball coming in with his shot, he struggled a lot, and
that's a good example too. I will say Lonzo's a great worked on it and got better and is a good shooter now. I will say Lonzo is one example.
I'm pretty sure they brought in that guy Sham God as well.
Guys, hasn't he been? He's been coaching for a while.
He's on the Mavericks, I think.
I think they brought him in for like a session, not like an actual coach. But I think I saw a picture where they brought him in for a little bit, like
because I know he's an advisor, like with the Mavericks, like. He works with Kyrie and Luka and them, which is cool, bro. If people don't know who Sham God is,
Sham God is
you're too young.
It has a whole name. It has a whole move to him.
Literally, the Sham God is crazy.
Yo,
Stan got him,
I'm scrolling through X right now, and I saw this picture on the Warriors on NBC, and it's a picture of Buddy Hield, DeAnthony Melton, and Kyle Anderson. It's like thoughts on the Dubs' new additions.
Honestly, for what they lost, what they lose, Clay and Chris Paul. I mean, it's only so much you can do to replace that. I don't think they need Chris Paul. I think the Spurs needed Chris Paul.
I think anybody would have given them like 2 second-rounders for Chris Paul. They could have.
Well, but then they would have needed to be able to take his money in.
Yeah, the contract.
The contract wasn't that bad, or was he coming off the last year of that?
If he didn't get bought out, yeah.
I thought they made a new contract already. No, okay.
No,
that last year's contract.
His Warriors contract was picking.
Okay.
I will say though, Golden State has had a terrible mismanagement of their assets. I mean, they trade Jordan Poole for Chris Paul.
Yeah,
half a year of Chris Paul and a bad year where they didn't win anything, and then waive Chris Paul. So essentially traded Jordan Poole for next to nothing.
Yep.
You lose Clay for almost nothing. I think they got a second-round pick, but congrats. And you overpay Draymond Green. That clogs your cap space for the next 3 years.
Yep.
I mean, like you said, Earl, I think they damage controlled well enough. I think Buddy Hield is a good player. He'll start. Kyle Anderson, solid bench player. DeAnthony Melton, solid bench player. But, like, geez, people saying, like, oh, if Golden State got Lowry Markkanen right now, they're a top 4. I saw that post. We're talking about Twitter post. Someone was like, if they got Lowry Markkanen right now, if they made this trade, they'd be a top 4 team in the West. I'm like, bro, if they got Lowry Markkanen, they might miss the play-in. They might get it. Like, they might be the 60. Might. They are not a top. There's nothing they could do right now that would make them a top 5 team in the West, I don't think. Short of, like, trading for Luka Doncic.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, I wanted to talk about this a little earlier. I didn't have a chance, but I posted my thoughts on X about this. The Knicks have interest in trading our boy, Max. The Knicks have interest in trading Miles McBride for center Nick Richards and are comfortable with playing Tyler Kolek for 10 to 12 minutes at backup PG if needed.
Yeah.
I
don't think we'll do this. I
don't think so either. Yeah, I said I don't know how to feel about this. Straight swap doesn't feel right, especially with someone as good as Deuce. Also, we refused and didn't trade him for Macau. So doing this doesn't really do anything for us.
Yeah, I don't think Nick Richards is him. It seems like the Knicks.
It's not that it's him. It's fit. And while I do see what the Knicks are doing, because they don't have a lot of first-round picks and they want to keep those in 2025. So
I would happily trade 225 first for Walker Kessler. I would happily do that. I think that's a much better.
Bro, you're crazy. Respectfully, you're crazy.
We need Walker Kessler. We need a backup big.
Kessler is good. He's good, but he's not 2 first good. You can have 1 Jazz, but you're not taking 2.
Our first, if I'm not mistaken, both of our 25 firsts are likely not going to wind up as first. I think in order for that to happen, we need Detroit to like make the play in and like Washington to make the play. Like, they're 2 really bad teams. So basically, those picks will likely become 2 seconds. So what I'm saying is
no more
4 seconds for Walker Kessler. I don't see the harm in that.
We'll see what happens because Denny Advia was like.
I don't know. I know one of them was a Detroit pick. I don't know what the other one was. It's some other bad team, though. It's some low-tier team that it's like, if they don't make the play-in, it's just going to stay to 2 seconds for us. So,
yeah. But if anybody wants to follow me on X, this is my account.
Unfortunately, they cannot see it because the screen is too small.
No, it's not.
It always is in share screen. I can't read that.
Well, no. I mean, I can't close this out, right? Would you rather me not have us on screen or?
I'd rather just it be us 3, considering no one can really read that.
Whatever. Here at Busco.
I know. Don't blame StreamYards for making it so incredibly small. But anyways, we do have, like I said, there are a couple good free agents left on the board. Mm-hmm. Guys haven't been signed. Tyus Jones hasn't been signed. Sadiq Bey hasn't been signed. Gary Trent, who I think a lot of people are sleeping on, has not been signed. Do we have any predictions for where those guys might wind up in the next couple of days? Of course, earlier probably
all Lakers. No, I'm just playing.
All Lakers. I could see
Honestly,
Trent going to the Lakers. That's a Lakers signing, I feel like.
I really
could
hope
see-
Tyus signs somewhere soon.
I can see Trent going to the Lakers, especially like I've been following like his whole agent track and stuff like that. His value, they're saying he's a little bit under the MLE now, as far as like what teams are willing to pay for him, and that's kind of a situation where we can find ourselves being in if we make a couple moves, clear out some roster space as well. And shout out to Bron for keeping us under that second apron by taking just a little tiny pennies off of his check. We do appreciate that. It makes it easier to make different moves. So yeah, I can definitely see Gary being one of those guys the Lakers go after. If Rob Pelinka wakes up from his slumber. So
yeah, it's weird. There's no good bigs left. Like no power forwards, no centers. The only like half decent one was Precious Achiuwa technically, but like I don't even know what's up with him. But like Paul Reed now is a Detroit Piston. So
yeah,
it's weird, but there are still some solid guards. I think Tyus, I don't really know. I could see him re-signing with Washington just to be moved at the deadline. Like they give him a bag just to
true
half a year and then flip him so they get some assets. I could see him doing that.
I heard he was working on sign and trade, so it's
yeah,
a little bit harder.
Maybe let's be a sign and trade now. Sadiq Bey, I feel like I just heard nothing about Sadiq Bey. Like
that is true too.
Yeah,
and I'll take him over Cam Reddish any day.
Sadiq Bey's nice, dude. Is like a solid. People forget he's a nice player. I'm surprised he didn't get more use in Atlanta. Although I do know he got hurt. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you're right because he was playing decent. He was playing good.
Solid season, but
and
I just want everybody to take a look at how Neji Marshall is grabbing his jersey.
Okay.
He's stretching it. Do you see that?
Yeah. I mean, he's just excited to be there.
I mean, he should be. I mean, but you can't hold it like
no. Okay, so now we're smile shaming and now we're jersey grab shaming. Is crazy
I'm not
today.
Smile shaming anybody.
Earlier in the show.
All right. My bad.
The best player in that picture is on the right. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Grimes, my boy, Grimes.
Don't even.
You went to the slums. Hey, no, I said this though.
Max Christie a better defensive player.
I
said
like
he does
this
have more.
on Clay. I like 31 on Clay. I like 5 on Grimes too. So this is a bit surreal to me, and this is a bit surreal to me.
I mean,
only because he just got traded to Detroit. Like,
hey, when you get traded out of Detroit, I'm telling you, Detroit is just like I gotta make it out. And when you make it out, you go to a good team. When you get out of Detroit, you go to a good team. I'm telling you, it's just a little transition period. You get your mind right. Nothing really to do. Focus on ball, and then you get shipped to a new team.
Does anybody know where Evan Fournier signed yet?
Has he signed? I don't think he has.
I don't know.
I don't know what's up with him. I saw him choke Dennis Schroeder out in the Olympics the other day.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was a moment.
It wasn't funny, but it was just like I don't know why.
Hugging afterwards, I'm like,
I don't know why the first thing to do is like, oh, let me choke you out. Like I don't know why that's the first instinct.
Like, hit him up here, like Schroeder kind of.
I think it was
chest. It was more like up around the neck. So
yeah, it was. That's exactly what it was. It was closer to the neck, and then Evan Fournier thought like he was going for the choke. So then he kind of like hit him back with it.
Let me watch this.
It's like he got hit here, so Fournier just went a little higher.
Yeah. Okay, so wait.
We haven't talked about.
Okay, he's still on Detroit. He's still on Detroit.
Oh, he's on Detroit. Okay, poor guy.
What did we not talk about, Max?
Oh yeah,
we haven't talked about that DeJounte trade, have we? Because that broke.
Oh yeah, because I wasn't too impressed with it.
Dude, he looks. Hey, no weird stuff, but he just looks right in a Pelicans jersey. Like I was looking at those photos, it just looks right.
He looks like he belongs there.
And that's what the Pelicans were missing, a true point. CJ McCollum is not a point guard. Now he's going back to the 2.
Than I expected. I think he did a serviceable job for 2 years?
That is true.
No, he did a solid job, yeah, but he's better
I just think
guard than anything else.
His offensive consistency struggles a lot, like as far as like long term when he's just running the point. And I think he kind of go back to being that 2 guard, and he's still a good playmaker, like you said. Like he's capable of it. Sorry, but him just being like offensively minded as far as like scoring, I think is going to help this team out a lot. So I'm excited to see the Pelicans. I'm telling you, Zion. I mean, this team. I still heard they're trying to move BI, which I don't understand why. Maybe Ingram just doesn't like it there. I don't know. But right now on paper, they look scary.
Yeah, I think I was very impressed that the Pelicans managed to get this trade done without involving Brandon Ingram because I felt like for months all that was being talked about. I mean, obviously DeJounte was linked to a bunch of teams, but in terms of the Pelicans, it was like BI for DeJounte Murray swap, basically straight up, maybe like a second, maybe like a salary fill, but like basically that's the trade, and that makes sense. I thought that made sense for both teams. You know, Atlanta get a forward next to trade another offensive-minded, lanky forward to kind of fill the inconsistencies that they've had in that spot with Hunter, AJ Griffin not panning out. Like having a solid all-star caliber player like Ingram there would make sense next to DeJounte or next to Trey. And then, like you said, Earl, DeJounte is a great fit for the Pelicans because they've been looking for that pure point guard. Again, McCollum's done a solid job of filling that role, but DeJounte is a pure point that allows McCollum to go back to the 2. And the offense-defense is balanced well there. So I thought that would be the trade.
Yep.
The fact that the Pelicans managed to do it for only 2 first-round picks and Larry Nance, which is like virtually a throw. I mean, he's a solid player, but like he doesn't hold much trade value. So really just 2 firsts for DeJounte. I think this is a great deal for the Pelicans.
Dyson Daniels was in there too, but yeah.
Who was in there?
Dyson Daniels.
Dyson Daniels. Okay. I mean, he holds some trade value, but I really haven't been too impressed with him. I think getting DeJounte Murray, you take that as a Dyson Daniels upgrade 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And then if all you have to go up other than that is Nance, who's a fringe role player, and 2 firsts, great deal for the Pels. I think all they need to do is figure out that center spot.
Yeah, they got a relatively cheap deal.
I think they just signed Tice. I don't know if that's their center for now.
No way you can start Tice. He as a backup.
They drafted a center too. So
they did. Okay, so that'll be okay. So I could see them in a Dallas situation where it's like Lively just kind of gets thrown into the starting lineup and hopefully.
But what would have been crazy though? I know he got picked before their pick, but if they were able to get Zach Edey, I feel like that would have been like a nice. That would
have vaulted them into like maybe a top 5 or 6 team in the West. I think
because having him with Zion and then Murray and then CJ
starting lineup defensively, especially really
exactly. You got everything covered from guard, small forward defense, center depth. Like that would have been it.
And they're gonna have.
I think Philly's gonna be dangerous too.
I mean,
for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
What happened what happened last week? Philly? It's not that serious.
Philly's made a lot of good moves too.
But like they also added a lot of depth to their bench, which was a huge problem.
Eric Gordon now
in our series. Yeah. So when you add the amount of assets that they've put on the bench,
Caleb Martin
compared to us only basically putting down Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo on the bench.
Jared McCain.
Like they're nice. Like I can't lie.
No, Jared McCain's a baller. If you haven't been watching Summer League,
Jared McCain is nice as hell. Like I'm
saying there's not a lot of.
I wanted Jared McCain.
I wanted him too
on my team. So
I agree. Your 9th best player.
No, I mean I get that, man.
He's a backup point guard. He's a rookie backup point guard.
Sure, but you gotta think about future too, bro. Like having a guy like that to kind of learn around, like he would have benefited well, like learning behind Brunson stuff like that, getting to your shots. And Josh Hart, I said it before, he reminds me, like his gameplay, his size reminds me a little bit of Josh Hart too, because in college he was a great rebounder at the guard position as well. So
I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying I don't think he's necessarily what makes Philly dangerous. I think what makes Philly dangerous is like Omar said, it's not even necessarily the Paul George thing. I wasn't even like this.
No, but we talk about depth.
George doesn't scare me. The fact that they have Caleb Martin, the fact that they have Jared McCain, the fact that they have.
But that's the point. Like we talked about the point being depth.
Bono. We didn't even talk about Bono. Like that man's like gonna probably be.
Yeah, but we're talking. You brought the point of depth. Like I think Jared McCain adds to like depth and like future proof as well. Like
he does
his potential too, especially like Maxi's still young as well, and that's your 3rd best player. Philly's in a good place right now, I think.
Yeah. I mean, they could run into down the line. No, this is looking very far down the line, and potentially after they win a championship, so who cares? But like, they could run into a situation like the Knicks had, where it's either pay Jared McCain to be a backup because he's never gonna. Is he ever gonna start next to Tyrese Maxey? Or they ever
gonna pull it quick?
I mean, defensively wise, it could happen. I think it just depends on how things mesh. Like as far as size and stuff like that, I think it could happen. But the thing about it too is like
secretly like
think about the cap.
Really
you can always pay your rookies. Like you can always pay those guys kind of over the apron. So if you want to keep them around, just see how things go, you're able to do that too, especially because they're restricted. Like you can match any offer. Well, for the first, I think the first extension, right?
The first run.
Yeah.
You know who I think is going to be secretly really good in Philadelphia? Not anytime soon, probably within the next 2 years. Justin Edwards, that just got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Was he a first or second?
I think he was a
second rounder.
Yeah, he had a decent game last night. He had a good game.
Yeah. I think he's going to be real nice as a backup.
Mm-hmm.
Jared McCain's a shooting guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Point guard, shooting guard, right? I mean, they're probably going to run him at point guard, right? Assuming they don't bring Lowry back, he's their backup point guard, no?
I don't know if Lowry's coming back.
That's what I'm saying. So it's probably McCain that's your point guard.
Yeah, he can definitely run
because
point.
Eric Gordon signed 1 year, 3.3. He'd probably be the shooting guard coming off the bench.
It's probably him and McCain in your backcourt.
And the thing I like about McCain too, the pace he plays with it's really good. I seen it at Duke. I just wanted to see how it looked on the Sixers, and he's been playing pretty good. I think the only thing obviously is getting into rhythm. I've seen it with a lot of rookies so far. As far as their 3-point rhythm hasn't been there yet. That's why I'm really excited to see Reece Shepard play. I mean, the best shooter in this draft.
Yeah.
On paper, I want to see how he translate into the NBA pace. So I'm excited to see that. But yeah, Jared McCain, he has potential to have a good role in Philly, and I think he has a lot of great vets to learn from. I mean, he got drafted into one of those we talk about dream type situations. Hey, you don't have to go suffer on a team. You can learn, soak in, sponge in all the information you can. And it's no pressure. You just go out there and learn. I think that's the best situation rookies can be put in. Then you could just end up in Detroit like Ron Holiday as the number 5 pick.
Philly's all in. Philly is all in. I mean, like Omar said, the Caleb Martin, that's an underrated signing. He's going to be good.
By the way, he saved $30 million on himself, which was, I won't be surprised if he fires his agent soon. He had $67 million on the deal on the table for 5 years from Miami. Apparently, things got heated in the meeting. People started screaming at each other, and then yada yada yada. But it all started from the agent saying this is not enough, and it was are you serious? He scores 6 points a game.
It's tough to say. I think maybe what they were going for is that.
But a 5-year, $65 million to what? A 4-year, $37 million?
No, it's a 3-year, right? It's a 3-year. I think he's making more per year on this deal, so I think he's banking that he plays this 3 and then gets a better contract after those 3. So he actually winds up making more and over the 5 years. Maybe he actually winds up with 75 or 80 mil over the 5 years. So he's kind of betting on himself. But yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's one of those bet on yourself contracts.
If I was him, not gonna lie.
It's I agree. It's one of those contracts where you sign and you bet on yourself to perform well these 3 years, so you get a better contract, even if that means leaving that team. So
okay, it's all right to bet on yourself, but when you're a Cody Martin playing in Miami,
you got to think too. You want to play for Miami right now? You want to go to Philly? This was after the Paul George stuff happened too.
This was not too long ago, actually.
Yeah, no, it's probably half. I want to go play for a real title contender, a serious top contender, and half, maybe I take this deal and I win a championship and I kind of get I get that bag where it's now I'm a championship.
You got
and I can go get a bag.
What do you got? You got Bruce Brown's, take the bag, Bruce Brown's, and you got Caleb Martin's.
Yes, bro. Can I just say real quick?
Where's Bruce Brown now?
Was that not what I was saying last year? That Bruce Brown is a pass merchant, that he's a Jokic merchant, a Halliburton merchant. Notice
he's a system Jokic guy. Yeah,
has a good season. Goes plays with Halliburton, has a good half season, gets traded to Toronto, falls off a cliff. And I'll bet you next year he's nowhere to be found in Toronto.
I do got to cut you off because I do want to cover one more thing before we forget, before the end of the show. DeMar DeRozan to Sacktown, everybody. DeMar DeRozan to Sacktown. I want to, before I say my opinion about it, I want to hear everybody else's because I want to hear if we're in the same boat here.
Finally, they're picking up weight. I mean, it's been in a lot of teams in the California-ish area. I mean, they've been kind of the little bros of not making moves and not getting people to come there. So I'm proud of them. I think it makes it fun. It makes it more competitive. And I think it's a good fit. I mean, DeMar DeRozan is a guy who can pretty much get a bucket, whatever. I mean, you got two of the clutch players. De'Aaron Fox, I think he leads in clutch minutes. You got DeMar DeRozan leads in clutch points, something like that. Yeah. Then you got Sabonis. Great playmaker. I mean, I call him Baby Jokic all the time because he almost averaged a triple-double this year, and nobody really talked about it. He's a great player. This team it's shaping out to be a great team. And defensively, they look good too. So I'm excited to see how things go. I think it was a great move for the Kings. Way to get it done. I think the fit is perfect in my opinion. So
yeah, I think like you said, I think Fox and Sabonis are probably the most underrated duo in all of the NBA. I don't think either of them made an All-Star team this year, but they definitely were both deserving of it. And now they get probably another very underrated place. Sacramento is just kind of the all like underrated team. Malik Monk, I don't know if he's underrated. People give him his credit. But, like, definitely for a 6-man underrated. I feel like he should have won 6-man of the year in my opinion. So Sacramento is kind of that underrated sleeper team. So I do think it's a good move. They didn't give up too much to get him. They also didn't overpay. I think it's like a 3-year, $80 million contract, or maybe even 3 years, $75. So that's a fair contract for DeRozan. I don't think he's, that's like not a super untradeable or super overpaid. Not going to kill their cap space in the long run. So I like that move. It makes them better. It means that roster, if healthy, can probably compete with pretty much any team in the Western Conference. But I will say this. They not like us. They're not a championship contender. They're not a Boston. They're not a New York. They're not a Denver. They're not a Dallas. They're not like us,
Yeah.
And before I
like that plug-in, Max.
And before I segue into Boston and maybe our 2025 Eastern Conference Finals preview, I do want to say that I agree with all of your points, though. It's
Sixers versus Celtics?
No. About DeRozan and Sacktown. I think it's going to be really good for him. I think he's back home, right, in California. So I think he's going to do well there regardless. When you put around the team around that duo of DeRozan, around Fox and Sabonis, and then the only thing you really get rid of is a Harrison Barnes, you're in a really, really, really good position. And DeMar DeRozan, while he's, I'm not going to say untrustworthy, I'm going to say more inconsistent, but no, I mean that very lightly.
I feel like he's been very consistent. I mean, he shot 48% from the field last year and averaged 24 points a game. He's been actually probably the only consistent player on.
He has his ups and downs.
The only thing he's not is like an elite 3-point shooter, but he doesn't have to be on this team, which makes things good.
Yeah,
DeRozan is actually, I'd say he's very.
He's just the third threat to a really good Sacramento team that also has Keegan Murray, that also has that top tandem duo of the Aaron Fox and Sabonis. Like,
I forgot about Keegan Murray, honestly. Yeah. Keegan Murray is a fourth.
It's going to be really interesting. Keegan might lose some touches, but honestly, if he takes this chance and works on his defense, it gets himself to a possibly not. I'm not saying this happens within one season, but get him to a defensive player of the year type shit.
That won't happen.
That
just won't happen.
Not yet. Relax.
Trades for Keegan Murray and expectations become unrealistic is crazy.
I do think him as a fourth option is really good. Like him,
it's no pressure, bro.
Points on just 4 threes a game and shoot 40+%.
It's no pressure. I agree.
They're gonna climb the standings this year for sure. And climb the landings this year for sure. And I want to get your guys' takes on something because I guess before we can end this episode, I want to talk about Knicks versus Boston or New York versus Boston. And I want to really say, like, we didn't get a real chance to see what both of these teams look like fully healthy and playing against each other, especially after the quickly and Barrett trade to get OG Anunoby. So do you guys think, I mean, I know I do, and I know Max does, but I guess my question is to you, Earl.
Oh,
how, if you had to give a percentage chance on how likely it would be for the Knicks to beat the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, what kind of a percentage would you give it?
Did Philly fall off the face of the earth?
No, but
all right. No, I'm just playing. Hypothetically,
I still think with our wings, I think we'd still be able to get through Philly.
Okay, hypothetically, if it was Philly versus the Celtics, you're asking me like, who would advance to the finals? Is that what you're asking me?
Simplified question.
Do the Knicks beat the Celtics?
And the Knicks beat the Celtics in the playoffs series.
Okay,
that's the question.
You know, with the Cal Bridges, with the OG Anunoby, Nova guys.
I mean, I think it'll be a really close series. I think it'll be really competitive.
I think we do.
Who wins? I don't know yet because I don't know how these teams. Well, I don't know how the Knicks are gonna mesh together. I'm sure it'll be great, but I haven't seen it yet. So,
prediction.
I don't know. I'm thinking
percentage.
I mean, 50-50. I don't know. I want to stay as neutral as possible because I don't know. I haven't seen this Knicks team play. But you know, if I'm saying I haven't seen them play, then I guess for now I'll give the edge to the Celtics because they're the defending champions. I think the thing that makes the Celtics really good is their all-out versatility on the defensive end, especially with Porzingis too being their big. He's a guy who can kind of stretch the floor. I know Mitchell Robinson, he's a great defender as well, but Porzingis is a guy who can shoot from
anywhere. I love Mitch. He's probably my favorite Nick. He gets killed by Porzingis.
Yeah,
Porzingis is just way more athletic. I can't disagree with that.
Like he can shoot, and when he does, actually remember he's 7'3". He's really good at controlling those mid-range shots and getting to the post game as well. So that alone, I think that's where things get a little bit tricky. Bigs.
I think if Mitch works on his shooting and his overall speed, he can.
Well, then he's going to be Kristaps Porzingis.
I mean,
too late for that, buddy.
Not really.
Porzingis has been Porzingis. So what
Omar, if you worked on the deadly 3-point shot and got hella athletic, you'd be in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I was 6 feet tall minimum, I would grind every day to be in the NBA. But we don't get that luxury. We're only 5'2".
Exactly. But what about Spud Webbs of the world?
Listen, I have back and knee problems. I'm not making the NBA.
Yeah, I do think
problems.
The way I see it is that everyone's chasing Boston. I do agree with that. Like Earl said, they're the defending champs. We know that works. They're bringing back their team for the next couple of years. It seems like they have a formula for success. They're not super old. They're the team to beat right now. They're the favorites regardless. I do think the Knicks are right there, and I do think Philly is right there. You know, that bat. It's kind of like Boston is S tier. Knicks and Philly are A tier. Maybe Milwaukee is A tier, but they really got to figure. They got to do some soul search. It's crazy how we went into last year being like Milwaukee. It's going to be a Milwaukee
the defense they lost
1A, and it's like some people giving Milwaukee the edge over Boston, and now it's turned into like people just forget the Bucks exist. Like they're the 4th best team in the East at best, and then you're saying like they don't get passed up by the Cavs.
And it's really weird considering how close the race was because the Knicks were literally about to end up in 4th. Prior to ending up in 2nd. So I think we all
fire Adrian Griffin. Yeah, if they don't fire Adrian Griffin, they probably do finish 2nd. So I think they got to do some soul searching, figure out Doc is the answer, figure out how to make Damon Giannis work because I don't think they got the best.
I gotta say that's still the one. That's still the one NBA. The one thing from the NBA that I won't get: the firing of Adrian Griffin.
Yeah, I think they should.
I will never understand why, and I guess I have to accept it. Like
Bucks have been passed up by the Knicks and the Sixers in the East at the very least. So I think the Knicks are in a good spot to potentially take it to the Celtics. I think Philly with that PG signing and all the pieces we talked about are in a good spot. So I would say I'll put it this way: if it's not Boston coming out of the East, it's Knicks or Philly. It comes down to them. So I do think you see Knicks Sixers. And, you know, that's a great – if you see Knicks Boston, that's going to be a toss-up. If you see Boston Philadelphia, that's going to be a toss-up. But I think it's going to be those 3 teams, then maybe the Bucks, then it's really going to be everyone else. Kind of like it was this year. I do think those were the 4 best teams in the East. It's just the Bucks got injured and the Sixers had to play the Knicks in the first round, which is the only reason we saw the Cavs and the Pacers get through. I don't think either of those teams get back to the second round. Well, on pure, just pure talent. So it'll be a close race. It'll be a fun race in the East. You know, it's very top heavy. We're going to see those 3 teams duke it out. And they're all in the same division. Funny enough, the Knicks,
the crazy thing is,
Sixers and Celtics. So they're going to play each other a bunch in the regular season. We're going to get a bunch of playoff previews in terms of those teams. And I think those matches go head to head.
No, the first game of the season is going to be Knicks versus Boston.
It could be Knicks Sixers rematch. It could be any combination of those. But they're all in the same division, so we're going to get plenty of previews. I do want to say one teensy little thing on why I'm not looking at Philadelphia quite on the same level. They're like right here, and we're right there. It's there's a little space between us. It's fine margins.
Fine margins, exactly. And it's their overall health status.
True.
Name the
there is
last
that
time
caveat with Philly.
Embiid was 100% healthy going into the playoffs.
Of course not. No, and the chances are he won't be.
PG carries the hell out of teams. And I honestly understand why he wanted a max and he wanted Kawhi numbers because he was the only one doing things in the playoffs when it came down to it. So, am I scared of PG and Maxey? Of course. But I don't see them passing us up in the sense of that because of all of the injury history we've seen with Joel Embiid. And I feel like they need to be a complete team to beat us, or at least have a chance to beat us.
I mean,
that's fair. Yeah. I mean, you saw this
year. If that's the only thing stopping them, then
I do think a fully healthy Philly could still lose to Boston or New York. I do believe that. Yeah. I don't think it would take injuries for them to lose. But I see what Omar's saying, that, you are taking on two players, especially with Joel, but even with George. Injury history players. Maxey should be good unless something catastrophic happens. But, like you said, injuries were the tail of the tape in this year's playoffs, and it's the reason why the Pacers made the third round. They were not a top 2 team, but the injuries fell their way. So when you bring on two guys like that, there's always going to be that asterisk until they get there. But if they do manage to get to the playoffs with a 90% Embiid and a healthy Paul George, all bets are off.
I think the injuries can be on. I mean, I get that. That makes sense. But I think injuries can be on a lot of teams.
It could be. I mean, Julius Randle's never been injured in his life. And he hasn't had any injury.
Like, how can we not argue, like, if Julius Randle was healthy? I mean, yeah. If Julius was healthy, I mean, y'all definitely could have made it farther, regardless of how, I mean, some of y'all feel like Julius doesn't contribute, but, like, him having, like, y'all having that type of offensive production as well.
Bro. It don't matter.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just another scoring option. He can rebound and stuff like that as well. That's a huge missing piece. And then, obviously, pretty much the whole team towards the end kind of got injured the Knicks. So if they were healthy, they definitely could have went farther as well.
Yeah.
So it could be injuries, but only time will tell for that.
For sure.
And this one thing, like, I got to go back on the tweet. I must have screenshot this or sent it to the BTB chat. But, man, teams are going to be in hell against Julius. You guys got to understand. And I gotta find this because... Yes, I sent it to you guys. Guarding Julius like this will be a death sentence to NBA defenses next year. Here are some of his teammates' 3-point percentage from last season. Jalen Brunson 40%, Dante 40%, OG 39.4, Deuce 41, Bridges 37. Sag off those guys.
OG was shooting 40%?
Huh?
Well, on the Knicks, I think he was. Yeah,
39.
I was about to say he should have shot it more than
39.4. 39.4, but I think it's higher than 40 low-key. I don't know.
It's 30. I'm sure it's 39.4. That's what they say it is. But yeah,
whatever.
It's gonna be tough. And all these 3 teams in the East are tough to defend, so it's gonna be rough. But I think like you said, time will tell. So I think that'll do it for this episode. We do appreciate everyone tuning in. If you made it this far, comment down below so we know. Appreciate the support you've been getting on the pod. As of late, we're going to keep doing these episodes throughout the summer, following Team USA, following some of the, the draft guys, keeping updates on any moves, doing previews for the season. We'll probably also do some fun videos, some tier lists, some reaction videos, stuff like that. So if you guys are excited for that, let us know. Obviously, find us on TikTok, find us on Spotify, find us right here on YouTube. Thank you all again for watching. For my wonderful co-hosts, Mr. Omar and Mr. Earl. We're going to see y'all next time. Enjoy some USA basketball. We'll talk to you next week.
Peace.
I got infinity money.